Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good night, and welcome to History in the Making Sims 4 edition. This is a little different than the two videos that I've posted on my channel for two reasons. The first is this will be connected to the main story down the line, and second, I've been seeing a lot of amazing creators posting their build on Reddit about those Sears homes, especially the Magnolia. So it kind of piqued my interest to know more about these houses. And the more I did know about them, the more I actually wanted to know about them. I hope this makes sense. So, today we're going to dive into the history of the Sears homes and how it came about, especially during that time, the early 1900s. And we're going to talk about the first home that we're going to build today, which is Modern Home number 107. I will show you the clips later. And we will talk about the history in the US and around the world in 1908, which is the year where I'm gonna pick this first house from. And it's also a way of me mixing two things that I really love, which are The Sims 4 and I would say history. American history is very great, actually, guys. So I will be able to just start talking about it and be a little more of a nerd, I would say. So this is a very long intro, I know, and I hope everyone is going to enjoy this. And you can put this video like in the background while you're cleaning, while you're building something. It's not going to be a very like gameplay style video. It's gonna be a fast build, so you can just put it in the background, like I said, or actively watching it if you want to know what I actually did. And in this lot, I actually used almost every expansion pack that was available, and there is a lot of CC in this house. Unfortunately, it's not base game, so if you would like to get it, you would have to get the CC also. And yeah, we can dive right into it. Oh, I forgot to mention that these houses were actually um, mail-in houses. So you have a catalog and then you choose the house that you want, just like a little background on the story, and then you order it and it comes to your house via rail, basically. So just to give a little uh, background, these houses were developed in the early late 1800s, and they became popular in around the early 1900s, from 1908 until 1940. Like after the Second World War, they fell from the popular eye, I would say. So but during that time, it really was a way of reaching these people. It was like their Amazon and their eBay, which is very funny to think it like that way. So we're gonna see what it looked like living back in the 1800s, 1900s, I will say. And right now, these are clippings from journals at that time. As you can see, granulated sugar was like 17 cents. In these houses, sometimes people had to take a loan, and the loan was to pay 25 to $75 a month, which is nothing. And this is the first house, like I said, that we're going to dive in. It's the Modern Home number 107, with one bedroom, one kitchen, the living room, obviously one kitchen, and usually at the time the bathroom was outside, so you're going to see it too. So here we go. We are in I forgot the name of the world that we are in right now. uh oh my god, I forgot. But this is a 20 by 30 lot, I believe. So it wasn't too small, so it was great. And I could properly fit the house there and start building with still a little bit of a backyard. They didn't really have a lot of let's say like worked on backgrounds, not backgrounds, backyards like we do have right now. So I tried to make it look more appealing to the Sims 4 without looking 1908 kind of backyard. I hope it makes sense. You're gonna see it though. But I'm also going to talk about the history of the US and everything around that time. So let's take a step back in time to 1908, a period that marked the early 20th century as a transformative era in American history. The United States was buzzing, buzzing, right? Buzzing with change. Industrialization was in full swing, cities were growing rapidly, and the middle class was emerging as a powerful force in society. For family movies to urban centers or seeking to build lives in the suburbs, affordable housing was a dream. Enter Sears, Roebuck and Co. with their groundbreaking solution, mail order homes. Like I said, it was their version of Amazon, so you get your house mailed to you, but not built already. It's just like the parts of the house are gonna be mailed to you via rail, and you built it yourself with your manual labor or someone else that could help you with it. So for the outside of the house, I tried to make it more like darker because they weren't leaning into light wood at the time because um as it's the 1900s, they didn't have a lot of how would I put it, transformed wood. Everything would be like from tree to house. I hope that makes sense. So that's why the outside would be darker. And especially if you look at the picture too, it didn't look like they had like a polished wood on the outside that was like white or something like that. So this house was very charming. Compared, I wanted to talk about and present slash build those kind of smaller houses in those catalogs because I've seen a lot of people build the Magnolia and she is very impressive. I'm not gonna lie, but I wanted to give a spotlight to these houses that were cheaper and by doing so that were less I would say popular, if I can put it that way. Speaking of price and cheaper, this house, I know you saw it in the first clip. The house was $695 in 1908. Came complete with materials, like I said, blueprints, and a pre-cut package of everything needed to build the house. Adjusted for inflation right now, this hope would cost about $25,000 today, with an additional 6,000 for furnishing. So right now I was using about $31,000, which is the total of the both. So like 6,000 for furnishing and 25,000 for the house itself, which is crazy to think about. And also, people would not. I mean, if we think about the $600 today, that's nothing. But at the time, federal minimum wage only came into existence in 1938, so it did not have like the business owners were paying their workers what they thought was worth their time. So money had a very different value in 1908. The average annual household income was around 500 to $1,000 when minimum wage laws not yet in place. Like I said, that came about. They came into like existence 30 years later, roughly. For a married couple earning on the higher end of that range, which is about like the $1,000, it would take about 7 to 12 months of combined income to afford the house outright, assuming that they had no other significant exp- uh, expenses. Why would I? Why was oh my god? I was bugging. So I'm sorry. So so if you are married, you don't have kids yet, and you're not paying anything else, you could take it could take you like a whole year to save up $695. But of course, many families would purchase on credit or save for years before committing, not committing, committing. I'm sorry, guys. And that's why I mentioned in the first clip that we had with the newspaper clippings that they would either pay the $695 or pay a monthly charge of $25 to $75, which is great, to be honest with you. And furnishing a home like they called her Modern Home number 107. I don't know, maybe I should find her a home like the Lydia, but the thing is I don't want to give her a home that already exists in the catalogs. So I don't know. She's very cute, very simple. And another thing at that time was that the wallpapers, like the interior, they were really into beige, light yellow, baby blues, but also they loved pattern. So I tried to mix and match between both, like giving the walls very light tones. Like here, I think the living room is a light yellow, and like I said, they loved pattern. So I don't know if you go to your grandma's house, you're gonna see this weird wallpaper that is like some yellow um flowers. So they really loved flowers, like I said, pattern and basic colors. So I try to mix and match between the patterns, so the room will have the little flowers to make it more intimate, but the rest of the house will have like basic colors. And in terms of patterns somewhere else, I try to put them in the carpets. Well, not carpets really, but like yeah, the carpets in the house to break the simplicity of the rest of the house. And if you're asking about this little entry in the kitchen, it's called I forgot what it's called. Oh my god. Um yeah, they had it as like in the pantry actually. It's called a matchway. So you're gonna have the pantry and the matchway. I believe the matchway was, as far as I could read, it was like a door in the pantry, like linking the back porch to the kitchen. I put two doors for some reason, like a door directly in the kitchen towards the back porch and one in the pantry towards the back porch. I don't know why I did that. I believe that they wanted to maximize all the space that they could in the kitchen. So that's why they had the door in the pantry. But I don't know why I put another door. Maybe because I had too much space maybe. So yes, this is called a matchway. I don't think we would have that in any of the newer houses. But I put it there just so it's time accurate, because this house wasn't really just a house, it was a symbol of its time. It represented the optimism and um, the drive of early 20th century America, a time where the nation was carving its identity in a rapidly modernizing world. How modern the world was in 1908. That's crazy. At the time, William Howard Taft was the president. So I am not American, really. So learning about these presidents that weren't relevant enough to be in history books is very refreshing, I would say. It's like in our brain, it looks like you guys, well, we, because I live in the US now, sorry, we only had like about 10 or 15 presidents, not 52nd, 55th, 50, I don't know, like, well, let me just step out of politics. But historically speaking, they talked about like roughly 10 presidents or even less. So that's why it was very interesting to know that someone not notorious enough was president, which was William Howard Taft. And right now, if you're looking at the build, I was trying to find a light fixture that really screamed 1900s, because at that time they didn't really have strong electricity, so I didn't want to put a light fixture that screamed electricity. No. And also they had a lot of oil based lamps, so I'm gonna put one in the room, like the bedroom. Yes. So this lamp really looked like something that you could find in your grandmother's home, I mean. And something else very interesting that I liked about this house, not really the house but like the era, is the fact that they were really into portraits, really into like filling up their walls with stuff. And that's very interesting to me to know that throughout history, people saw a blank wall and they were like, ew, no, thank you. Let's put something there. It could have been, at the time, it was more like family portraits and landscapes, like the one that I put on the right side of the living room. And they would have mirrors. They would have mirrors, but like not um the full body ones that we have right now, but more like something in the wall. And I broke like the carpet here in the living room is still beige, but it has pattern. It's not like just a, a plain carpet. And they would have a carpet by the door, so that's why I added something else that is full of pattern. I was trying to find another word. And they really loved having flowers. And something that was very interesting to know is the fact that they would have glass vase at the time. And I was surprised that they had glass. I don't know exactly when glass became a thing. I would take a look at that. But I was surprised that they already knew that flowers go into a glass vase. So that's why I tried to stay away from it a little bit because I didn't want it to look too modern. So yes, I put like little flowers. And another issue that I had regarding the windows, forgot the word. I tried to find the not window covers, the curtains that look like the one in the video, not the video, the picture. But I couldn't, so I found these ones. Again, they were plain. I think they had some pattern, like very light pattern, and I put them throughout the house because um they they looked that they fit. And I'm gonna have to hunt for a little bit more uh what is it, CC, to be more time accurate, because I'm not doing the decades challenge. I'm just creating houses from those decades. So speaking of decades, we can talk about some key historical moments from 1908 in the US and in the world. In October 1st, 1908, the Model T Ford was introduced, which was, I think, one of the first vehicles at the time. And it's important to note that women also played a role in early automobile adoption and promotion, with figures like Alice Ramsey, who later became the first woman to drive across the US in 1909, paving the way for broader societal acceptance of cars. I love that for her. We love a backpacking queen. Is it backpacking? Is it the word backpacking? I'm not sure. And also, it was the progressive era reform. Social reform movements were at their peak. Women like Jane Addams, founder of the Whole House, HULL, were critical in advocating for labor rights, housing, and public health reforms, reshaping the fabric of urban America. Well, we're still fighting. Like 100 years and 115 years later? I'm not sure, but like 100 and something years later, we're still fighting for those better labor rights, better housing, and better public health reforms. Oh my god, it's a fight that is never over. It was also the year of the first National Women's Day in the US. February 28th, 1908 saw the first observance of National Women's Day in New York, organized by socialist women advocating for better labor conditions, suffrage, and equality. Again, 100 years later, we're still fighting for those. And this, I don't know, like, it shows you that sometimes the fight is never over when you thought that it was, but it's never in a way. So now that we're in the kitchen, again, I tried to find light fixtures that were really vintage. So I really love these ones. I think they have flower patterns in there. I'm not sure, but one thing about that time is the fact that they would not have a fridge. Of course not. They would have like a box where they would have ice and use the ice for cooking and something else. And I will put the box in there, you're gonna see it, or they would get ice delivered to their house every single day. And their oven would be one of those wood fueled oven. Thank God I had this one. I'm not sure which pack it comes from, but this one was really great because again, it doesn't use electricity. The main thing about these kind of houses, is the fact that they would be off the grid, which is awesome. And usually in the house, there would be one sink, the one in the kitchen, and it will actually serve as like a generic sink for everything, for cooking, for washing your hands, for probably brushing your teeth, I believe, because reading stuff about that time, they never mentioned having like a specific sink for like hygiene, I would say. And another interesting thing would be that they wouldn't have countertops, counters in the kitchen. They would have like a big table in the middle for them to do everything that they needed to do. And here, as you can see, I am putting a fireplace because I put the fireplace I don't know how you call it, the one from the outside at the on top of the house, and I completely forgot about it in the house. And the ones that came in the game are a little big, too big for the house. So I tried to find a good one because one, their chimney, not the chimney, their fireplace would be wood, not wood, brick, red brick, firewood, not firewood, fireplace. And I couldn't find that, so I just had to use this one that kind of makes 1800s and doesn't really make sense because the hole is by the side of the house, not the top. So let's just say that the chimney at the top is for uh decor purposes, but they would have a fireplace in the house and it would be like red brick ish. And I tried to find some clutter to put in the house, like this meal tin thingy that my grandmother had, and to make it more like homey and not just presentation. Like this is the box that I was talking about for the ice, and yeah, it works well because it really looks like something that they would use. I don't know why I put it next to the oven, because I don't think ice will go next to the oven, especially if it's only in a like wooden box. But I tried to make it look a little rural, which is what I did with this milk jug here, like to make it like, oh, they had a I didn't put a cow, it's not really cottage like, but like one of their neighbors would have a cow and they would get some milk from them, and they would have eggs themselves, and they would like trade the eggs for milk, which is a fair trade, to be honest with you. Yes, the the light fixtures had the little like flower thingies, and it's very very cute. I love it. So this is the back porch. I tried to make it look lived on, lived in, really. So that was my other main goal with this house, to like, it would probably stay a showroom. I wouldn't use it, but this house, I wanted it to look like, oh, a couple lives there. They could be younger, they could be older, you would never know seeing all of these. But it's not just like a base house without I wanted to give it what is it, an really. And I added some time specific, not time specific really, but like time correct stuff, like this keepsake, this little box of envelopes, and the candle holder in the middle of the this table here, and put some clutter that would actually make sense, like the cigar and books. They were really into books at the time, so I put a pile of books by the door so they would like have it there. And I am building the pantry right now, and I didn't want to make it too full. Um, so I tried to make it look like, okay, this is where we put like the extra stuff, not everything. And going back to history, while New Zealand had granted women voting rights in 1893, other nations saw suffrage. Is it suffrage? Is it how you pronounce it? Suffrage movements intensified in 1908. In Britain, Emmeline Pankhurst, I think that this is how you would pronounce her name, Pankhurst, and her daughters led the Women's Social and Political Union, advocating for women's voting rights through marches and civil obedience. Disobedience. Yeah, that makes more sense. Civil disobedience. So, and in fashion and architectural trends, the art and crafts movement continued to influence architecture, emphasizing simplicity, utility, and beauty. Women designers like Candice Wheeler played pivotal roles in shaping interiors and textiles through their contributions of um, though sorry not through though their contributions were often overlooked. This is that's not what I liked. And there is something else that I found um, while trying to read um, more into these houses, is the fact that usually women were the one choosing the house and furnishing it. So they would know like the income that comes, the income that comes wow, the income of them and their partner, and they would choose the house based on that, and obviously they would furnish it and just create a decor. So obviously these houses were well thought of, and they were very warm and homey. And now that we are talking about the house, this is the bathroom. The bathroom would be outside. They would have a bathtub per se, not really a real bathtub, but they wouldn't have standing showers. Standing showers weren't a thing at the time. And to go to the toilet, they would have the sort of toilets that has a latch to flush it instead of the regular flush that we have. But I didn't have it. I didn't have the CC for that, or I didn't have the kit. So the other option for these rural homes would be to have a hole in the bathroom where they would do their stuff, cover it up with dirt, and continue until they had to do something about it. I'm not sure. But I created a little hole in there, or like something that could look like a hole, to just make it like, oh, this is what they were using. And I know it's giving very um forgot the word that I was using, that I was going to use, but it's not really modern. And like I said, I didn't want to make them full on farming family, but they would have some crops in the back. And since they have a wood fueled oven and a fireplace, they would have some um, wood blocks in the back, just like those um, restaurants today where they would have those huge blocks of wood in the back of the restaurant, because they have those kind of old ovens. So I just wanted to recreate that, but for like a small house scale, with those wood in the back. And technically these are fireplaces that I just scaled down and put them together to look like, oh, it's just a pile of wood that they had on the side of the house. And to make it more like, yeah, we're using it in a way. So this is what is this? Okay, I'm putting like more clutter to make it again lived in. So just, I don't know, I wanted to make it more homey and more like charming, because she doesn't have a name yet. Um her name is Modern Home number 107, like an experiment or something. Um, Now that I'm thinking about it, did I put? Oh yeah, I did. I was going to say, like, I don't remember putting a door in the back porch going into the backyard, and I did not fence off the the house, like the whole perimeter, the whole plot, not plot, the whole lot. I just put a fence around the chickens, but I didn't want to make it. I don't think at the time, if they had to save for months and months to save close to $700, I don't think they would have extra money laying around, or extra wood from the kids, to create a whole like barricade around the house. And something else that I wanted to add, and I did not have the kit for, was like the laundry kit. I don't have all the kits, and I realized that maybe need this one, is the off the grid clothesline and the little tub to wash clothes. I don't have it. So I you can think that they have it in the bathtub inside of the bathroom, like makeshift bathroom, really. And but I found this clothesline, I don't know where exactly. I think they are from uh 6M, not 6M like the the place, but like the creator. And they look very vintage to me, because this is something that they could have created themselves with like some wood and lines, and it didn't look too modern to me. But I would look into more CC from this era to make it believable. I would put it that way. Another thing about these kind of houses would be that they wouldn't really have a lot of landscape. They would have some trees, like naturally planted trees, but not a full landscape like the ones that we do have and do see today. But I tried to make it still more like cuter with some rocks, some plants, and some flowers, like greenery around the house. So it doesn't. I don't think I put any. I put some flowers in the living room, but I didn't put any pots of plants in the rest of the house like I would do these days. So I tried to add something outside. Like I think I added a tree stump. I think this is how you pronounce it, and this little um DIY bench in the back that the husband probably made um with like some wood. Oh, he made it from this tree that he cut down because his wife wanted to have like those crop thingies in the back. And yeah, I was like evaluating to see like if everything's okay. I didn't want it to look too full, but at the same time I didn't want it to look too empty. And that's why I just wanted to see like what can I add to make it believable. And time accurate is one, but also it's a very cheap house. I didn't want to put too much stuff, so I added these two bench on the side with a fireplace in the middle, so it looks like very, oh, we're just gonna look at the stars at night or something. So that is the house for right now. Thank you so much for staying with me during this time. And we come to the end of this first look at the Sears Homes challenge. It's not really a challenge, it's like more of a personal one. And it's been amazing to recreate such an iconic piece of American history in The Sims 4. And I can wait to share more houses from the Sears catalog in future videos. I will probably go from a catalog to another and add like maybe two or three houses per catalogs, and I will try to find as many catalogs as possible. And please don't forget to like and subscribe for more historical builds and challenges. I will see you in the next video.